Good morning, students. Welcome back to History Lecture. Today, we are going to start Civics, chapter number 2, the Indian Parliament. In first chapter of Civics, we studied that India has adopted the parliamentary system of government. And why we adopted this parliamentary system of government that we have already studied in the first lecture. So today we are going to learn about the Indian Parliament. You can see the picture on the screen. That is the Parliament House. And where is that Parliament House? It is in New Delhi, where all the leaders, they sit over there and they discuss, they make laws, they participate. And there are two houses of Parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So let's begin with our chapter. We have studied that the Parliament plays an important role in the parliamentary system of government. In this chapter, we will discuss the Parliament of India. As we all know, the Parliament plays a very important role in the parliamentary system of government that we have already studied in our previous lesson. Now, let's begin with our chapter. The Constitution of India has created the Parliament of India. Now, who has created the Parliament of India? The Constitution of India. The legislature at the national level, that is the level of the central government, is called the Parliament. So, very important question over here. What is called as a Parliament? The legislature at the national level. National means like India. That is the level of central government. So, where we have a central government in Delhi, na? So, it's called as a Parliament. It consists of President and the two houses of Parliament. Now, what is consist in a Parliament? The President and the two houses. So, which are the two houses? Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Though President is an inseparable part of the Parliament, he or she cannot participate in the discussion in either of the houses of the Parliament. Though the President is a part of the Parliament, but he cannot participate in the discussion in the either of the house of the Parliament. So whenever the discussion is going on in the house of the Parliament, the President has to remain present, but he cannot participate in the discussion of the house of Parliament. The two houses of the Parliament are called Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. As I told you, there are two houses of Parliament. Which are those two houses? Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok means people, no? Yes. So Lok Sabha. Now let's begin with Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha is the lower and the first house of Parliament of India. So the Lok Sabha is the lower house of the Parliament and is the first house of the Parliament. Lower and the first house of Parliament is Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is the house of representatives directly elected by the people. So in a Lok Sabha there are some representatives, and who elect those representatives? The people are electing the representative in Lok Sabha, or the leaders in Lok Sabha. Who is electing them? The peoples are electing them. Hence the Lok Sabha is called the first house, and that is why it is called as a first house. The members of Lok Sabha are elected directly by the people from territorial constituency, means at local or regional or at the territorial level. So the members of Lok Sabha are elected directly by people from the territorial or the local or the regional constituency. The tenure of Lok Sabha is of 5 years. So once you are elected for the Lok Sabha, then your tenure will be of 5 years. The election takes place after every 5 years. So after every 5 years there will be the another election and another leader will be elected. These elections are known as general election. However, there are examples when the Lok Sabha was dissolved before the completion of 5 years. So there are Few examples: when the Lok Sabha was dissolved, dissolve means we can say the destroy or disappear before the completion of 5 years. So there are examples where the before completing the 5 years the Lok Sabha was dissolved, or it was destroyed, or it was disappear. Election held in such a case are called mid-term election, and in such case again the election were held in the middle, and that is why it is called as a mid-term election. So before completing 5 years, if any member is going to quit, okay, if any leader they are going to quit, or the Lok Sabha is going to dissolve, or it's going to disappear, or it's going to destroy, then again the election in the mid-year is taken, and that elections are called as a mid-term election. Lok Sabha is the representative body of the citizen of the country. So Lok Sabha is the representative body, citizen of the country. So each and every citizen, they cannot participate in the Lok Sabha. That is why we electing the people from us as the leader of the Lok Sabha. So that is why the Lok Sabha is the representative body of the citizen. So the one who is going to become the leader of Lok Sabha, they are going to represent the citizen of the country. As per the constitution, there can be maximum 552 members in Lok Sabha. As per our constitution, how many members should be there in a Lok Sabha? 552. To ensure the representation to all sections of society, some seats are reserved for members belonging to the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. So all the section of the society should get a chance to participate in Lok Sabha, and that is why there are few seats which are reserved for the members belonging to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So there are some seats reserved for the SC and ST people. In case there are no representative from the Anglo-Indian community, the president can appoint 2 members from his community to the Lok Sabha. Now what is Anglo-Indian community? Means the people those are living in India and they belong to the European country. They have married to Indian girls. So those people or those communities are called as Anglo-Indian communities. So those people those are staying in India from many years, they also get a chance in the Lok Sabha. If none of the member is going to participate from that community in Lok Sabha, then the president can appoint 2 members of this community to the Lok Sabha. So that's all about the Lok Sabha. Again we will see the short introduction of the Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is also called as the first house of the parliament, and Lok Sabha's representatives are elected by the people. The tenure of Lok Sabha is of 5 years, and how many members are there in Lok Sabha? 552 members are there in Lok Sabha. In Lok Sabha there are some seats which are reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, and in case there is no representative from the Anglo-Indian community, the president appoints 2 members from this community. So that's all about the Lok Sabha. Now we will move to the Rajya Sabha. The upper and the second house of parliament is the Rajya Sabha. So first house is the Lok Sabha and the second house is the Rajya Sabha. The member of Rajya Sabha are indirectly elected. The Rajya Sabha gives representation to 29 states and 7 union territories in India. Thus, members of Rajya Sabha work as representative of the constituent states. So the member of the Rajya Sabha are not elected by the people. They are indirectly elected. And they are the representative of the each constituent state. States like Maharashtra. As we all know, there are 29 states in India. So all the states are having a one representative in Rajya Sabha. The total membership of Rajya Sabha is 250 members. So how many members are there in Rajya Sabha? 250. Among them, 238 members are elected from the constituent states and union territory. So among that, the 238 members are elected from the constituent states and the union territory. So we have a states, 29 states and the 7 union territories. From that, 238 members are elected. All the constituent states do not get equal representation in Rajya Sabha. It is proportionate to total population of each of the state. So the representation of Rajya Sabha is not equal in all the states. It depends on the population. Okay, and remaining 12 members are appointed by the presidents, and as I told you, there are 250 members, but out of that 238 were elected from the constitutional states and the union territories, and the remaining 12 members are appointed by the president. These members are usually experienced and distinguished personalities from the fields of literature, arts, science, sports, and social work. So one who is having experience or having a knowledge about fields of literature, arts, science, sports, and the social work, those people are appointed in the Rajya Sabha. The members of Rajya Sabha are elected through the system of proportional representation. Means the one who is going to get the more votes. Rajya Sabha is never dissolved completely, hence it is called as a permanent house. So Rajya Sabha, it never dissolved, and that is why it is called as a permanent house. 1/3 members of total members of Rajya Sabha who have completed the tenure of 6 years retire after every 2 years, and equal numbers of new members get elected. So the Rajya Sabha is never dissolved completely like Lok Sabha. Hence it is called as a permanent house. 1/3 member of total members of Rajya Sabha who have completed their tenure of 6 years, the one who has completed the tenure of 6 years, after every 2 years, and equal numbers of new members get elected. So the one who has completed the 6 years tenure, so 1/3 member of this get retired, and same number of people will be elected, because the limited members of Rajya Sabha retire step by step. So the members of Rajya Sabha, they retire step by step. The one who has completed the 6 year, they will retire, and on his place the another member will be taken in the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha can function continuously. Any person contesting for the election of Rajya Sabha must be an Indian citizen, and he must have completed 30 years of age. The one who want to contest the election of Rajya Sabha, that person should be the Indian or an Indian citizen, and he must have completed 30 years of age. So that person should complete his 30 years, then only he can contest the election for Rajya Sabha. Members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are known as members of parliament. So the members of Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha are known as the members of parliament, that is MP. Now what is the work of MPs that we are going to see? MPs try to resolve the queries and complaints of their constituency by raising questions in the parliament. So the MP, what they are doing, they are raising the queries and the complaints of their constituency. So in their constituency, whatever the queries or the complaints they have, they raise those questions or the queries or the complaints in the parliament. Government allocates them funds to carry out development work in their respective constituency, and the government allocate them the funds. So with the help of that funds, they have to do the development work in their respective constituency. For example, many times the funds were provided for the construction of road, for the construction of bridge, for the construction of school, etc. So who is allocating all those things? The government is allocating funds for the all the development activities in their respective constituency. Now we are going to see the function of parliament, how the parliament is working. After understanding the basic of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, we will now review their functions. Now we have seen the basic of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The Lok Sabha tenure is 5 years and the Rajya Sabha tenure is 6 years. Okay, and how many members are there in Lok Sabha? In Lok Sabha 552 members are there, in Rajya Sabha 250 members are there in Rajya Sabha. Now we are going to see their functions. The first function of parliament is formulation of laws. In order to achieve welfare of people and the objective of the constitution, the parliament has to formulate new laws. So this is very important function of a parliament. To achieve the welfare of the people and the objective of the constitution, and for that they have to formulate the new laws. Also outdated is dated means old fashion or which is not useful, that is called as the outdated laws. And repeal means no longer valid, और उसको in Hindi we called it as a रद्द करना. Necessary changes are made in some laws, and if there are some laws in that if the changes are required, then they are making some necessary changes in the law. The process of formulation of laws has been described in the constitution, but to how to formulate the law, and that process is described in the constitution. Anyhow, they cannot form the law, they have to follow the proper procedure to formulate the law. And in accordance to the procedure, the parliament fulfilled this primary and important responsibility, and by following the procedure they are fulfilling the primary and important responsibility of the parliament. Now the second one is control over the council of minister. The prime minister and the council of minister are drawn from the parliament, and the parliament exercise control over them. So the prime minister and the council of minister, they are drawn or they were created from the parliament only, and the parliament exercise control over them, and the parliament is keeping control on the prime minister and the council of minister. There are multiple ways through which this control can be exercised. So there are many ways through that they can control over the prime minister and the council of minister. It is the responsibility of the parliament to see that council of minister does not disregard the parliament and functions under its supervision. And also it is the responsibility of the parliament to see to that the council of minister does not disregard means to treat unimportant the parliament, means whatever they are doing they have to give importance to the parliament and functions under its supervision, and whatever functions, whatever work they are going to do, they have to do under the supervision of parliament only. Means whatever they are doing they have to inform the parliament, or without permission of parliament they cannot carry out any work. So they cannot disregard the parliament and functions under its supervision, so they have to functions under the supervision of parliament. So next we will learn in the next lecture. So small revision of today's lecture. Today we have studied about the Indian parliament. In that we have studied there are three main houses in parliament, that is President, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, and these two are the important house of parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. As we have seen, the tenure of Lok Sabha is of 5 years. There are some seats kept reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe people also. There are maximum of 552 members in Lok Sabha. Then people are electing the representative in Lok Sabha, that is why it is called as the first house of the parliament. Then we will move to the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is the upper and the second house of the parliament. The members of Rajya Sabhas are indirectly elected. The people are not electing the members of Rajya Sabha. Okay, and the representatives give representation to the 29 states and the 7 union territories. And how many members are there in Rajya Sabha? 250 members are there in Rajya Sabha, and out of that the 232 members are elected from the constitutional states and the union territory, and the 12 members are elected from the special fields, like those who are having the experience in literature, arts, science, sports and social works, etc. Okay, and the members of Rajya Sabhas are get retired after every 6 years. Okay, so it does not dissolve completely. And the members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are known as the members of parliament, that is MPs. And what is the work of MP? To discuss the issues and the queries which they are facing in their respective area, as they were elected by the people, so they have to work for the people, and that is why whatever problems they are facing in their area, they have to raise those questions in parliaments, or they have to do the complaint to the parliament. Now what is the work of the parliament? First work is to formulate the laws, which is very important. When they are formulating the laws, that time they have to achieve the welfare of the people. Why they are formulating the laws? Through that law there will be the welfare of the people, and also they have to achieve the objective of the constitution. Okay, and with the help of that they have to formulate the law. By keeping these two things in the mind, they have to formulate the law. Then whatever the outdated laws are there, that will be repeal. Repeal means rad karna. They will be no, those law will be no more valid. Necessary changes are made in some laws. Now there are few laws, in that laws the few changes are needed. So whatever the changes are needed, that they have to include in that law. And when they are formulating the law, they have to follow the process which is mentioned in the constitution. Whatever described in the constitution, that way only they have to follow while formulating the laws. Okay, then another function is the control over the council of minister. The parliament has to keep the control over the prime minister and the council of minister. And there are many ways to keep control over the council of minister, and also it is the responsibility of parliament to see that council of minister does not disregard the parliament and the function under its supervision. So they have to function under the supervision of parliament. Who has to function? Council of minister. That's all, students. Next we will continue in the next lecture.